whisper I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore trees. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just saying there. Sweet dreams that find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Still sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Dream a little dream of me.
Got. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. stop the bebop.
Hey everybody, we're back here with Mark Chilemi and the Jazz Quartet. Do you guys have a name right now for the Jazz Quartet?
Well, it's the Mark Chilemi Quartet.
Mark Chilemi Quartet.
That's what it started off at. It's going to evolve.
It'll evolve, sure.
Yeah.
So let's introduce ourselves so everybody gets a chance to tell me who they are. We got Mark.
Yep, Mark Chilemi, trumpet player and band leader and Harlequin. And well, I could pass the mic, or I could introduce.
You could introduce everybody.
Yeah. Dwayne Edwards on the bass, but he has a guitar. You know, we're just mix it up real good. Jordan Bickey on the guitar, but he also likes to sit behind the drums. And the man right here, who looks like the director in his chair, this is Mark Dumont on the drums, and the lovely Sang Molika on the rug and the singing. Yes. Indeed.
And we started out with a song from these folks. We're going to play a couple more, but let's talk a little bit about your story, Mark. You started out, were you New York area originally, Boston area? I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I'm originally from New York.
From New York.
And then I went to college in Boston, and then 16 years later I ended up here.
Okay.
And 20 years later I'm still here.
You're still here, exactly. You were in Berklee School of Music, is that correct?
College of Music.
Berklee College of Music.
That's where I went.
Didn't you kind of, I think you talked to me about, you toured around kind of Europe for a while. You were there for about a decade, yeah?
10 months, but going
10
back
months.
and forth
Yeah,
as
back
well,
and forth.
yeah.
Was that an interesting experience for you in those days, or?
Yeah, that was in the 90s, and when we came back, all of us, it was a New Orleans group, and when we came back, we all realized, wow, people seem to get jazz more than in the States. We were like, that's weird, because jazz is an American art form, but we were playing festivals, we were playing on the street, and when we played on the street, literally one time in Brussels, we're setting up, and I turned around, my back is facing the public, I guess, take out my trumpet, and then there's 100 people in front of us. Everyone's anxious, and we started to play like a standard, and people started to clap because they knew the song. It was, that doesn't happen in the States.
And so it was almost like it kind of reminds me of different artists of the past. You were more appreciated in a different country than where the music originated at.
It seemed like it.
Yeah, interesting. So, and you got back to Portland, what year was that you got here?
Oh, I came back, I landed here in 2000, but yeah, I was touring all through the 90s.
Yeah, and you were doing jazz most of the time, or you do some Caribbean music
Yeah,
too?
I play Afro-Cuban music, Caribbean music, dance music mostly.
Yeah, and how did you find the quartet? How did you guys all kind of get together?
Well, I recently, this version of the quartet is new.
Yeah.
And it's been great. We met at one of the jazz clubs. They have a jam session, and I met these incredible musicians. Dwayne and I have been playing together for 14 years almost.
Wow. Okay.
We play in a band called Primo Cubano. We play Cuban music.
Yeah.
But Dwayne's my #1 call for gigs. We've done a lot of different type of music. The Hot Club of Portland, music of Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Swing and bebop, and Sang it came into my life and through music, and we're taking it to the next level. Yeah. And these two guys over here, they're just a dynamic duo. And,
yeah.
So we've been playing together as the quartet for, I don't know, man, 6 months maybe.
So did you guys know each other beforehand? Were you like a package deal in a sense, or?
Yeah, we've been friends.
You guys been friends for a while, right?
He said they've been friends for a long time.
Right. Well, that makes sense. You guys have a tight sound too. So, Dwayne, and you're from Rockland, is that correct?
I'm from Rockland originally, yes. I've been living in Portland now for the last 10, 12 years or so.
And do you play kind of Cuban bass a lot, or you can play a lot of different styles?
I do a lot of things.
Yeah,
I freelance a lot as a bass player. I play with almost anybody that calls.
Right.
But I do primarily play upright is kind of like my thing, and it has been for a while. And I can, not while holding the microphone. But I found out in college that upright bass was my spirit animal. Right. And just kind of went all in for it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always known the bass is the hardest instrument to find, so that you're always in need. There's always there's always like we need a bassist.
Yes, that
and
is,
a good bassist.
That is the thing. Is if you even play like a mediocre bass player, will have way more gigs than most guitar players because it's just there's a practical need for it in every band. But being a good bass player, as I hope to aspire to be, that's the thing.
Well, that's what I'd always heard, was that it's like it's easy to be a pretty decent bass player. It's really hard to be a really good bass player. It's kind of one of those that instruments that's really easy to learn but hard to master.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of practical stuff as a bass player that you toe that line of practical and creativity much more so I think than other instruments do, because you have to provide that foundation. And it's to be creative is fun, but it's like really not necessary to be the bass player. You just have to like do the job most of the time. But it's great doing jazz and with Mark doing Cuban music and other things, because it is creative and fun, and I can still do both of those things.
Yeah, there's a lot more room for things. And how about yourself? You've been playing drums for a while. Strictly jazz a lot, or?
Yeah, ever since 8th grade, I was a piano player first, and I was a swimmer, so I was in pretty decent physical condition. And I was a classical pianist, so I could read music, and they needed someone to play marching band who could like stand up and carry the bass drum in the 8th grade band. And I was selected because I could read music and theoretically bump out a rhythm. And my piano instructor would not have me playing an instrument I was not properly trained on, so she sent me to a classical percussion instructor in Portland, and he also taught jazz, Bill Manning, and the rest is history. I just fell in love with the instrument. So.
I mean, that's literally kind of the low end of the totem pole, where you're the guy carrying the other guy hitting the drum at the beginning, But then, so do you play also, so you are saying you strictly play jazz, or do you play some rock too with people, or?
Mostly jazz.
Yeah, mostly jazz.
Yeah.
Pretty different. The kits are a little different, right? You don't really want to bang the heck out of that kit on a rock type of way.
I would make different drum and cymbal choices if I were playing a rock gig. I'll say that.
Yeah, I've seen those guys. And Sang, how about yourself? Have you been singing for a while, or do you like this type of jazz predominantly, or do you sing other styles too? Or?
Yeah, I enjoy singing, so I feel like I've been singing all my life, and jazz has been something almost like nostalgia of just the sweet love stories and just like the style, and it's soulful, and there's a lot to explore and different ways to sing it, so I feel it brings a lot of freedom for me, and to continue to discover how I sing and how that develops. So.
Sure. Great. Well, so I wanted to talk to you, Mark, also about kind of what your goals are upcoming. I feel like you guys have a mission, a thing that you'd like to see happen with Portland. Could you tell me a little bit about that, kind of where you see Portland going?
Well, we all kind of struggle, finding places to play improvisational music, instrumental music, jazz music. There aren't that many venues in town, so my vision is to have us perform in like pop-up concerts, ideally hotels, because in the history of jazz in the big cities, they were always happening in hotel lounges, and they were big. The Carlisle Hotel, the Savoy is where some of the greatest jazz musicians had residencies for months, and they would hold that, and then they go and record in the studio and make incredible records because they were playing at the hotel every night for 8 months. And so all over the big cities, hotels had jazz, and I would like, we've seen, there's like, what, 100 million hotels now, at least in Portland? So I'd like to find a home for us so people out there, look out. Have some jazz in the hotels.
Yeah, there's a million hotels here that kind of fit that image in their part, like the Canopy, Top of the East, places like that. And it is shocking that there aren't, because I mean, the Drake in Chicago is an old hotel.
Tons of places.
And I remember when I was a kid, we'd go to see plays Bobby Short playing.
Bobby Short in New York City.
We like all the time playing piano. So I also wanted to ask you about, how do you guys come up with the arrangements? That's kind of an interesting thing. Do you do the arrangements? Do you guys collaborate on some of that, or how does that go?
I enjoy arranging. I bring a tune into the band and say, hey, I'd like to do it this way, and really try to get a goal, a vision, a sound, and then Jordan brings in, he has this great arrangement of body
Yeah,
and soul.
right.
You know, so it's you know, anyone who brings a tune in, they could lead the tune, and we come up with arrangements. The magical way is when they just kind of happen.
Right.
And then we remember what was good and say, hey, let's do that again. Or while we're rehearsing, wow, that happened, let's develop that, and then everyone will have an idea.
Well, I want to thank these guys. The music's great. We're going to have a couple more songs from them. I hope you enjoy them. Check out Mark Chilemi and the Mark Chilemi Quartet.
Yeah, I think we're going to develop that. It'll change.
So you can find these guys on Facebook. You know all their names. Look them up, friend them. I want to thank them very much. I want to thank you guys. Have a good night. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Take care.
Oh,